Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And we're going to be focusing on this platform called Hyperliquid.
Sounds good.
Now, we're going to be using some excerpts from their docs.
Okay.
Kind of break down some of the ideas and concepts.
All right.
So if you are brand new to crypto, maybe you've never even bought a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
This is the episode for you.
Right.
We're going to start with the basics.
Cool.
So let's just start with what is cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency is basically just digital money.
Okay.
But instead of being controlled by, like a bank or a government,
Right.
it operates on a decentralized network.
Okay, decentralized.
Yeah,
That's like one of those buzzwords you hear all the time.
it is, yeah.
But what is the advantage of that?
Well, it makes transactions more secure and
Okay.
transparent.
Okay.
For example, if you wanted to send money to a friend overseas,
Okay.
traditionally you'd go through banks, which can take a while
Right.
and a lot of fees. Yeah.
But with cryptocurrency, you can do that much faster
Okay.
and with lower costs.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like cutting out the middleman in a way.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm starting to get the appeal here.
Yeah.
But how does it actually work? That's where I start to get a little bit lost with all the tech jargon.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
That's where blockchain comes in.
Okay.
So imagine a giant digital ledger
Okay.
that keeps track of all the cryptocurrency transactions.
Okay.
Everyone on the network has a copy.
Okay.
So it's very transparent.
Right.
So if someone tried to cheat the system, everyone would know.
They'd get caught red-handed.
Exactly.
Boy.
That's what makes blockchain so secure.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult to tamper with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm starting to kind of get the picture.
Yeah.
So how does this Hyperliquid platform we're talking about, how does that fit into all this?
Yeah. So Hyperliquid, you can think of it as like a city built on a blockchain
Okay.
that's specifically designed for finance.
So all the trading, transactions, even complex financial strategies, that all happens directly on their blockchain.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Back up for a second.
Sure.
You keep saying blockchain.
Yeah.
Could you give me an analogy that would
Yeah.
help me really understand that?
Yeah. So imagine a Google Doc
Okay.
that everyone in the world can view
Okay.
and add to,
Mm,
but no one can delete or change previous entries.
gotcha.
That's essentially what a blockchain is. It's like a permanent record
Yeah.
that's super transparent and secure.
Okay, so that's a good way to put it, the Google Doc.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hyperliquid has their own version of this Google Doc
Exactly.
that's specifically geared towards finance.
Yes.
Okay.
And they use a special consensus algorithm
Okay.
called HyperBFT.
HyperBFT.
Yeah. Okay.
To make sure that everyone agrees on what gets added to that ledger,
Okay.
this algorithm's actually really efficient.
Okay.
So that makes Hyperliquid very secure and fast. Now, I noticed in the Hyperliquid docs, they talk about handling 100,000 orders per second.
Yeah.
How's that even possible?
So that's the beauty of Hyperliquid.
Okay.
A lot of blockchains out there are kind of slow,
Yeah.
which can lead to delays
Mhm.
and high fees,
Right.
especially when things get busy.
Okay.
But Hyperliquid is built to handle a lot of transactions quickly.
Okay.
It's like comparing a horse and buggy to a high-speed train.
Okay. Wow. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
So we have this platform.
Yeah.
It's got its own super fast blockchain.
hmm
So where does the actual trading come in?
Right.
Is it like playing the stock market?
So it is similar in some ways.
Okay.
Hyperliquid has an exchange built in
Okay.
where you can trade crypto,
Mm-hmm.
but what they specialize in is something called perpetual contracts
Okay.
or perps.
Perps.
Yeah.
Okay. Break that down for me.
Yeah, so imagine that you think the price of Bitcoin is going to go up,
Okay.
but you don't want to buy Bitcoin. A perp lets you bet on the price of Bitcoin
Oh.
without owning it.
So it's kind of like betting on a sports game.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you bet right, you win.
Okay.
If you're wrong, you lose.
All right.
The difference is that with perps, you can bet on the price going up or down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
hmm
But why would I use a perp instead of just buying the cryptocurrency?
Good question.
Yeah.
Perps offer some unique advantages. They
Heck
often
yeah.
give you leverage, meaning you can control a larger position with a smaller amount of capital.
Okay.
So it's like putting down a small deposit to control a much larger investment.
Okay, so that sounds risky,
Yeah.
but potentially lucrative
Yeah.
if you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Is that kind of what Hyperliquid is known for? Are these perps?
Absolutely. They've really innovated in this space.
Go ahead.
They offer different types of perps,
Right.
each with its own kind of unique twist.
Okay.
So, for example, they have these things called hyperps.
Hyperps. Okay. They're unique because they don't rely on external price feeds.
Oh, okay.
which can be unreliable.
So with Hyperps, are they like creating their own market within Hyperliquid
Yeah.
with their own pricing system?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
This helps keep things stable,
Okay.
especially for newer cryptos that might not have reliable price data.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What other kind of perps do they have?
Well, they also have something called Uniswap perpetuals.
Uniswap perpetuals.
Yes.
Okay.
They track the price of assets on the Uniswap exchange.
So if I think a certain token on Uniswap is going to go up,
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of amplify my gains by using a Uniswap perp on Hyperliquid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, got
It gives you more ways to profit from your predictions.
Okay.
And then there are index perpetual contracts.
Index. Like the Dow Jones.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
They work similarly, but instead of tracking stocks, they track a basket of cryptos.
Okay.
So it's like you're betting on the overall performance of the crypto market.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Instead of like individual coins.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got the crypto basics down.
Yeah,
We're understanding blockchain a little bit better.
right.
We know that Hyperliquid has its own blockchain
Mm-hmm.
optimized for finance and especially these perps.
Yeah.
But how do people actually get their crypto onto Hyperliquid?
Right.
It's not like I can just like wire transfer money from my bank, right?
You're right.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can't just use your regular bank account.
Okay.
That's where bridges come into play.
Bridges.
Yes.
Okay.
Think of it as secure connections between different blockchain networks.
Okay.
Hyperliquid has a bridge that lets you transfer crypto assets onto its platform.
Like what USDC?
USDC, what's that?
USDC is a stable coin.
Okay.
It's a type of crypto that is pegged to the US dollar.
Okay.
So it's designed to maintain a stable value.
Okay. Gotcha.
A lot of people use it to move money between different crypto platforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need some USDC to get started on Hyperliquid.
Yes. Where does that bridge connect to?
It connects to the Arbitrum network.
Arbitrum.
Yeah.
Okay, another new word for me.
I know. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You can think of Arbitrum as a superhighway
Okay.
that's built on top of Ethereum, which is one of the most popular blockchains.
Right.
It basically helps to make transactions on Ethereum cheaper and faster.
So I would transfer my USDC from somewhere like, let's say, Coinbase
Right.
through this Arbitrum highway
Exactly.
and onto Hyperliquid.
Yeah. It's like taking an Uber.
Okay.
You don't need to know how the engine works to get to your destination.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've done all that.
Yeah.
I made it onto Hyperliquid.
Right.
Where does my USDC go?
It's managed by something called the Clearing House,
Okay.
which you can imagine as the central hub
Okay.
of Hyperliquid's exchange.
So is it like the bank vault where they're storing the crypto?
It's more like a sophisticated accounting system.
Okay.
It manages all the trading accounts. Okay.
And make sure all the trades are executed fairly.
This is kind of like the referee, making sure everyone's playing by the rules.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when I want to trade, what am I looking at?
Right.
Like one of those stock ticker boards you see on Wall Street?
Well, you would be interacting with Hyperliquid's order book,
Okay.
which is like a digital bulletin board
Okay.
where buyers and sellers post their orders.
So if I want to buy Bitcoin, I'd put up a wanted poster
Pretty much.
on the order book
Yes.
and hope that someone's willing to sell at the price that I want.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And it all happens digitally,
Mhm.
globally, 204/7.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got the bridge to get onto the platform,
Yes.
the clearinghouse, keeping everything honest,
Mhm.
and the order book where the trading happens.
Right.
What else do I need to know about Hyperliquid?
Well, there's one more important piece,
Okay.
the oracle.
The Oracle.
Yeah.
So remember how the perps rely on knowing the price
Mhm.
of a crypto?
Yeah.
The Oracle is how Hyperliquid gets that information.
So it's kind of like a price checking app.
Exactly.
Well, for crypto.
But it's a lot more sophisticated.
Right.
It pulls in reliable price data from a bunch of different sources
Okay.
to make sure that the prices that are used for trading are accurate.
Why does that matter so much?
Well, imagine you were betting on a basketball game and the score was wrong.
Yeah.
You might think you won, but you actually lost.
Right. Yeah.
Having accurate prices is really important for fairness
Okay.
and to make sure people can't manipulate the system.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the oracle is all about keeping things accurate.
Exactly.
Okay. I think I'm finally starting to grasp the basics of this whole Hyperliquid thing.
Yeah.
We've talked about cryptocurrency,
Uh-huh.
blockchain, perps, bridges, clearinghouses,
It's a lot.
even oracles.
I know.
It's a lot to take in,
Yeah.
but I think I'm getting it. So let's just do a quick recap
Okay.
to make sure everyone's on the same page.
All right.
So we started with what is cryptocurrency?
Right.
How is it different from the money we use every day?
Yeah.
We talked about how it's decentralized,
Right.
meaning it's not controlled by a single entity, and how those transactions are recorded on a blockchain,
Yeah.
which is like a tamper-proof ledger.
Exactly.
Then we got into Hyperliquid and how they use their own blockchain
Yeah.
to create this unique environment for finance, specifically like trading.
Yeah.
Then we talked about all the different pieces that make Hyperliquid work,
Yeah.
like the bridge to transfer crypto assets, the clearinghouse,
Yeah.
the order book, and the oracle.
It's a whole ecosystem.
And then, of course, those perps,
The perps. Yeah.
which let traders kind of bet on crypto prices
Right.
without actually owning the asset.
Yeah. Good summary.
But it doesn't end there.
It doesn't.
Hyperliquid is more than just a trading platform.
Ex-
It's a community-driven ecosystem
yeah.
where users actually get a say in how it evolves.
That's right.
Tell me more about that.
Okay. Yeah.
How much control do users really have? Is it like a democracy where everyone gets to vote on everything?
Well, not exactly a direct democracy,
Okay.
but it is built on the principles of community involvement
Okay.
and shared governance.
Gotcha.
And that's what we're going to be talking about next.
So let's get into it.
Okay. So one way the Hyperliquid community gets involved is through something called HIPs.
HIPs. What's up, HIPs?
Oh, yeah, close. HIP stands for Hyperliquid Improvement Proposal.
Okay.
And it's basically how anyone can suggest changes or additions to the platform.
So it's like a suggestion box, but for a whole blockchain platform.
That's a good way to put it. But it's not just about suggestions, though.
Okay.
The community actually gets to vote on these HIPs.
Oh, wow.
So they have real power to shape Hyperliquid's direction.
So what kind of things are people suggesting? Like changing the color scheme or adding a mascot?
Haha. No, not quite. These are about substantial changes to the platform's functionality
Okay.
or features.
Okay.
Things that could impact how people trade or invest,
Okay.
or even create new projects within Hyperliquid.
Gotcha. So give me an example. What's a HIP that actually made a difference?
Well, there's HIP-1,
Okay.
which set the standard for creating brand new tokens directly on the Hyperliquid blockchain.
Hold on. You're saying people can just make their own cryptocurrency on Hyperliquid?
It's more about giving developers the tools to build new applications and projects within Hyperliquid.
Okay.
Think of it like building a new app for your smartphone.
Okay.
You're not creating a whole new phone, but you are adding something new to the existing system.
It's kind of like setting up a food stall at a popular market.
Yeah, exactly. You benefit from the foot traffic, but you're also adding something unique.
Right. Right.
It allows for more diversity and innovation within the platform.
Okay. So HIP-1 lets people create new tokens. What else has the community come up with?
Well, HIP-2 is all about ensuring there's always plenty of liquidity, even for those newer tokens.
Liquidity. I think I missed that day in crypto class.
No worries. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to sell a rare baseball card.
Okay.
It might take a while to find a buyer, right? That's because it's not a very liquid market.
Okay.
But if you were selling shares of Apple stock, you could find a buyer instantly.
Right, because tons of people are trading it.
Exactly. That's a liquid market.
Okay.
So HIP-2 introduces this thing called hyperliquidity,
Yeah.
which is an automated strategy that makes sure there are always enough buyers and sellers,
Okay.
even for those newer tokens.
Gotcha.
It's like having dedicated market makers who are always ready to trade.
So it's like those folks at a carnival game who are always trying to get people to play, keep the action going.
Yeah, I like that analogy. It keeps the market moving, making it easier to buy and sell
Right.
at a fair price.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of this. All this talk about trading, perps, liquidity, it's a lot. Is there anything on Hyperliquid for someone who, maybe isn't ready to become a day trader?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
You've hit on another key part of Hyperliquid, vaults.
Vaults. Okay, that sounds kind of mysterious.
It does.
Is this where they store all the Bitcoin?
Haha, not quite.
Okay.
Vaults are a way for users to pool their assets together.
Okay.
And participate in more complex trading strategies that are managed by others.
So it's kind of like investing in someone else's crypto trading skills.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if you're not comfortable trading on your own, or maybe you don't have the time,
Right.
you can deposit your assets into a vault and let a vault leader manage them for you.
That's interesting.
It's a bit like having a professional fund manager, but in the world of DeFi.
How do these vault leaders make money, though?
They earn a share of the profits that are generated by the vault.
Okay.
So if they do well, Everyone who's invested benefits.
So are all the vaults the same?
No, there are different types of vaults,
Okay.
each with its own strategy and focus.
Give me an example.
Well, there are protocol vaults,
Okay.
which specialize in investing in specific projects or protocols.
So if I was really bullish on, say, a decentralized lending platform,
Yeah,
I could find a vault that focuses on that.
exactly. It allows for more targeted investment strategies.
Okay, this is starting to feel like a whole new world. We've got bridges, clearinghouses, order books, oracles, HIPs, and now vaults. How is anyone supposed to keep up with all this?
I know, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
But what's really cool about Hyperliquid is that it's all packed into a platform that's still pretty user-friendly.
Okay.
They've done a good job of making it so people can focus on what they want to do,
Okay.
whether that's trading, investing, or building new projects.
So they've kind of hidden away a lot of the complex stuff.
Yeah, they've abstracted away a lot of the technical details.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely helped to break it down.
Good. I'm glad it...
There's one thing I'm still curious about, though.
Okay.
You mentioned that vaults on Hyperliquid can take advantage of some pretty advanced features.
Okay, what makes them different from other vault platforms out there? So the key difference is that Hyperliquid's vaults have access to all the same tools and features as the exchange.
Oh, okay.
So they're not just passively holding crypto, they can actively trade.
Interesting.
They can leverage Hyperliquid's high-speed transaction processing and accurate price data.
So it's like having a team of professional traders working for you.
That's a good way to think about it. They give you the potential for those sophisticated strategies,
Yep.
all within a decentralized platform.
This is amazing. I'm starting to see why people are so excited about Hyperliquid.
Yeah, it's really innovative.
But let's not sugarcoat things.
Right.
This is still a very new space, and it's rapidly evolving.
Yeah, it definitely is.
What are some of the risks people should be aware of before they jump in headfirst?
Yeah, that's an important point. Investing in crypto or participating in DeFi comes with its own set of risks.
Like what are we talking about here?
Well, the biggest one is that the value of cryptocurrencies can be very volatile.
Okay.
Like, it's not uncommon to see prices swing by huge percentages in a single day.
So buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster ride.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with that level of volatility, crypto might not be right for you.
Yeah, I've heard some horror stories about people losing their shirts.
Yeah, it happens.
Definitely makes you think twice.
It should.
And it's not just about the price swings, right?
Right.
There's also the risk of technical glitches or security issues.
Yeah, for sure.
We're dealing with new technology and things can go wrong.
Exactly. There's always that potential.
So you've really got to do your research
Yeah,
and choose platforms that have a good track record with security.
absolutely. You don't want to put your money into something that could disappear overnight or get hacked.
So look for those platforms with strong security measures.
Yeah. Yes, and a transparent team
Right.
and a proven track record.
This all sounds pretty scary, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it can be.
Are there any resources out there to help people navigate these risks?
There are. One thing I always recommend is checking out a platform's documentation,
Okay.
like really learning how it works.
Okay.
Hyperliquid has incredibly detailed docs.
Okay.
They explain everything from the technical details to how to actually use the platform.
So if you're thinking about diving into Hyperliquid, spend some time reading their docs.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It might not be the most exciting read, but it could save you a lot of headaches later on.
For sure.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, the crypto community is generally very welcoming.
Right.
There are tons of online forums and communities
Okay.
where you can connect with others and get advice.
That's a great point. There's no shame in admitting you don't know everything.
Nope.
Asking questions is one of the best ways to learn, especially in this space. All right, so we've talked about the potential risks, but let's flip the coin and talk about the upsides of a platform like Hyperliquid.
Right.
What gets people excited about this kind of decentralized finance?
One of the big draws is the potential for greater financial inclusion, like traditional financial systems.
Right.
They can be very exclusive with lots of barriers to entry,
Okay.
especially for people in developing countries or those without a good credit history.
So Hyperliquid could open up financial opportunities to those people
Exactly.
who've been shut out of the traditional system.
With Hyperliquid, all you need is an internet connection and some crypto,
Okay.
and you're good to go.
Wow.
No credit checks or anything like that.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's like democratizing finance, putting the power back in the hands of the people.
I can definitely see the appeal there.
Yeah,
But what about the regulatory landscape?
right.
Governments are known to be a little wary
Yeah.
of things that disrupt the status quo.
Mhm.
Are there concerns about Hyperliquid getting shut down by regulators?
That's a valid concern. The regulatory landscape is still evolving. So there's a lot of uncertainty about how governments will approach it long term.
Okay, so it's kind of a proceed with caution situation.
I think that's wise advice for anyone getting into crypto.
Yeah.
Just stay informed about any regulatory developments
Okay.
and be prepared for things to change.
But it's not all doom and gloom, right?
Yeah.
There are governments and regulators out there who are embracing crypto
Absolutely.
and trying to create, a supportive environment.
Yeah, some places are even trying to become like crypto hubs
Wow.
to attract investment.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to see how this all plays out.
It really is. It's like we're witnessing the birth of a new financial system.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, and it's anyone's guess what the future holds.
Exactly. So it's a really exciting time.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of experimentation and innovation happening. And, there are risks involved,
Yeah.
but there's also a ton of opportunity for those who are willing to kind of explore
For sure.
this new frontier.
Yeah, and that's what the deep dive is all about.
Exactly.
Encouraging people to explore, to learn, about all these things that are shaping the world,
Knowledge is power, right?
especially in a space like this.
It really is.
That's changing so quickly.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
In this deep dive into Hyperliquid.
Absolutely.
We went from the basics of crypto and blockchain all the way to these innovative features of this platform.
Yeah, we talked about trading, governance, the challenges, the opportunities.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's been a really incredible journey.
It has.
And I hope everyone listening has learned a lot.
Me too. I hope it's been helpful.
And, this is a really exciting time to be a part of this crypto world.
For sure.
I think we've only just scratched the surface. So with that being said, this has been the Deep Dive.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep your minds open.
Exactly.